Adventurers, you won't believe what I just found for absolutely $0 while here in New Mexico. It's another free campground, and I'm so happy because this place is truly awesome. I mean, let's get out real quick and I'll show you why. Yeah. So this place is called Joe Skeen Campground. It's located about 10 miles off of I-40, and there's absolutely no road noise here. But despite being free, this place has some pretty cool amenities and it's very nice. I'm really excited to show you this one. It looks like they've done a lot of recent work out here, and this is going to be a delightful night's stay. Just kind of starting off here, there's Dimples, and this is our site right here. Isn't this place huge and nice? I'm not sure if you follow many other van dwellers, but if you do, I actually saw this suggested on Adventure Van Man's channel. Brian had a wonderful stay here and showed some of the cool things, and I was like, ooh, I like that. I need to go there. So here I am. And it is just as magnificent as he made it out to be. I'm really happy with this site. In fact, I could easily fit a really big rig in here if I had one, but Dimples is small, so we don't take up much room. But let me show you a little bit more of the campsite area, and then I think we're just going to chill out here today and kind of enjoy this beautiful surrounding. They kind of have a grill over here, but this looks like it might have been here for a while. But there is another one over here. You know how I like a good picnic table, and guess what, guys? No sags, no drags. This is very nice and pretty long. This is a big space. Now, these awnings, I can only imagine during summer months, are just a game changer. Definitely much needed. But there's actually something written on the table too. Let's check that out. Oh, well, this is nice. These are the rules and regulations. I noticed when I came in, the kiosk didn't have anything on it, so this is kind of good. Okay, it says here that we're supposed to stay in our graveled site areas. Quiet time starts at 10 and goes till 6. If we need any water, they have a BLM ranger station, which I did pass by and it looked like it was currently closed, so I'm not sure about that. Fires are permitted, but we have to keep them in the local area and also check out any kind of fire restrictions on our own. So that kind of stuff is pretty standard, but it also says that despite the sheer size of these sites, that only 2 registered vehicles are allowed per site on any given stay. So you can't just come out here and like set up shop with like 40 of your friends, which I actually like because that discourages people from abusing the property. So that's good. Let's continue reading. It says no livestock or horses, so this is not an equestrian campground. Also, hunting is not permitted within half a mile of the campground. And so that is really good also. And right here, do not leave hunting waste. Thank you. If you're newer to my channel, you might not have seen yet, but I actually had a campground that was completely ruined by illegal poachers because they had not only violated this rule, which is a very common rule on BLM and other free campground areas, but also they had left the carcasses, which bring in predators. We don't want predators at our campground, so the fact that they have this as one of their rules also means it can be a punishable offense. So take note of the rules always, guys. It's very important. The last 2 here say no discharging of firearms or fireworks, and also that we can't collect wood, including firewood, from around the area. Again, pretty common rules for these kind of sites. You're supposed to bring your own firewood, but you're supposed to make sure that firewood is purchased within the area so you're not bringing in invasive species. So yeah, there's that. Anyway, let's look at some of the other amenities. This is a very nice waist-height grill right here, but also they have a grill on the fire ring, it looks like, also, so that's kind of nice. And inside here it looks like somebody has built it up just a little bit, so it's not quite as deep. Like I said, I consider this a huge win, not to mention they do have bathrooms. They have vault toilets. There's actually one kind of on that side over there, and then there's one just right up from our camp over here. So, free campsite with all those amenities. Oh yeah! Now, I will say this. It is a little chilly up here. In fact, we are at a high enough altitude here at about 6,900 feet that recently they had a little bit of snow that I can see that is still melting off. Now, it's not supposed to be freezing, nor is it supposed to have any additional kind of flurries, so I felt comfortable staying up here. But otherwise, you might want to check the weather before you visit, definitely. Because we are in a little bit more of an exposed campsite, the wind is whipping through pretty good. My hands a little cold, but I kind of wanted to come here and just hang out, make some food, enjoy a nice quiet campground experience. I'm constantly on the go, and sometimes I just want to unwind a little bit, and a campground like this is a perfect place to do that. But before we do completely unwind, I do want to go check out one thing that I saw on the way in. So we're back in the van and we're going to drive down to what they call the sandstone cliffs. I don't know. Let's go check it out. I'll also say, as I'm driving through this campsite, despite the harshness of the sun right now, I'm seeing a couple of other sites that I might be interested in when we come back. I'm glad we're taking this little drive around. Yeah. Like that one right there. It kind of tucks up in the trees a little bit more. Now, as we're driving out also, you'll see that there's somebody who just pulled in, like right over there, and it looks like they're going for that site that I was just in. But we're not going to be gone for very long, and there's still plenty of sites available. Now, you might have seen in one of my recent videos how hard it can be sometimes to lock down a spot. So knowing that we have one here, as long as we're not gone too long, is just really good. Now, I'm here earlier in the day, so obviously these may fill in later, I don't know. But we're not going to be gone for very long, and it's literally like a mile up the road. So we'll be back. This is what the roadway looks like on the way in. It's pretty easy to navigate. It is kind of bumpy, but not too bad. Dimples didn't have any problems with it. There is something on freecampsites.net though that says you should not come down this road if you are over 30 feet, and there's a big reason for that. So when I was coming in, I noticed that as soon as you get past the little entry gate, there's this big, like, dip, I guess you would call it. It's pretty big to call a dip, but it's a dip. And I could see that if you're over 30 feet, this could be problematic. In fact, we're here. So this area right here is the one in question. And you'll notice as we're going through that side is pretty steep, and then the side that we're on, that we're about halfway down, is also pretty steep. So if you're dragging a big long trailer, you're likely to bottom out right about here. And I have come to realize that whenever they say things like that on freecampsites.net, it's usually because somebody had a bad experience. So likely somebody had a bad experience. I just am happy it wasn't me. Okay, from the campsite, we are driving up just a little ways to this pull-in, which should be off to our left in just a second. And you can see that the drive in is actually quite nice. This is a very well-maintained road, and you shouldn't have any problems getting out here. Woo! A little bump right as we come in. This is a day use only area, and okay, after the cattle guard, not too bad. You can see there's a little bit of washboarding, so this will be a slow drive, and there is a sign that says that it is impassable when wet. Good times. Oh yeah, it's a little bumpy. Oh yeah. Now, this is a little bit longer of a road than I was expecting it to be. I was thinking it was just going to be like right off of the main road, but in fact it's a little bit longer. And as I'm driving past, I'm seeing in the treetops there's a lot of ravens. There's actually a couple of little old, what look to be either rangers' homes or old homes up here. Just really neat in general. Okay, we made it to a place where I need to put on tennis shoes, and I am so excited, and you're about to see why. This is also about to be a beanie moment. Oh yeah, it's cold. Woo! Oh yeah, that's better. That's better already. It is cold out here, and as you can see, there's a lot of ice still in the waterways. Whew, I got out of the wind just a little bit. It is so cold. So cold. I should have worn my gloves, but I didn't. But wow, this place is amazing. I'm so glad that I took the time to come over here. Whew. Yeah, gorgeous. Now I'm gonna try to walk over here. There's a little path that we can go over to this section. As long as it's safe, I'll go, but if it's any kind of hairy, I will not be going. All of the black that we're looking out on was actually from lava vents. There were over 200 lava vents in this area, and they actually came up and spewed lava all this way into this what looks like huge field of black. It's awesome. It is so cool how the world works, but I'm just amped up now, so let's go for more of a walk. Very carefully, because this is not even ground. Okay, this is a little better. Yeah. Right there, see, there's people out there. We can actually go up through this section. So here we go. There's some of that snow I was talking about earlier, guys. See? In the shaded areas, it's still here. Wow, here's another opening. I think we can get a little further through this one. This is awesome, and there's even like a little staircase over here. That was a cool view, but should we go over here? Oh wow, we're going in there too, but first we're gonna go this way, I think. This, I think, is gonna be the coolest view of the overall canyon, but this intrigues me. Kind of being careful with where I step because there's little pieces of ice from places like this, and I don't want to slip. If it wasn't windy, I would go over here, but it's too windy for that, so we're gonna go into that little area that we saw a while ago. I just love to look at all of the different rocks and how they look after weathering and erosion has just like really taken to them. This is so neat. And then also the little holes on the other side, super cool. Upward we go. This is gonna be so fun. Whew, the sun's pretty bright through here, but wow. Oh, this is cool. This is really, really cool. For a second at least, the wind died down and I can hear ravens in the background, and it's magnificent. You can just kind of see them floating through the air and then just kind of come down almost like little spaceships. It's just really magnificent. I love natural spaces, but especially whenever you can explore them without having to be super far away. A lot of times people think they can't get out and make a long hike, but this doesn't require that. You can literally get out of your car and just kind of walk around. As long as you're stable in your feet, you're okay. So I like this. Guys, look at this one. I thought it was just a regular little hole, but once you get up in there, there's lots of tiny little compartments in there also. That is neat. Now imagine how many small animals could have little homes up here because of that, or how whenever native cultures would have been up here, they could have used those things. It's just so fascinating. And then we're here just exploring and learning about how neat this place is. Wow. Yeah, definitely a wow. Okay, I don't know if I'm the only one who does this, but I look at clouds and I see little shapes, and this rock is the same way. Look at this. This is an eyebrow, a nose, and a mouth. Isn't that cool? That said, this rock is very precariously hanging on by this little ledge and is definitely a little top heavy. So we're gonna walk away from that one. Now it does look like you could go ahead and keep exploring in this direction. Again, a little too close for comfort for me with the wind, and some of these little areas like over here are very narrow, so we won't be doing that today. But this is just amazing, even if we don't go further down into the canyon today, I think. This is just a really cool way to see this, and if it wasn't so windy, we'd probably go a little further, but I'm not trying to go whee! Not again. Again, if you haven't watched my channel very long, I totally did that on a mountain and Telluride. Not fun, not fun. We came in through this direction, but there's a little path that goes over here. So let's go exploring a little bit more. Shall we? I think we shall. Oh, this is neat. This is neat. Something else kind of cool though is how the ground looks beneath it. It's like hanging on by just a little bit over there, but this mounded dirt, it has these little formations in it. I wonder why. In fact, this entire area that we're walking on has these like pebble looks to them, like where they're little circles kind of. On our way back to the van, I saw this. This is super cool, but I'll tell you about it whenever we get out of the wind. This area, the El Malpais area, was actually from 1943 to 1944 used as a missile test site or a bombing test site. And so they would use the lava tube area to blow things up. But it only lasted 1 year because they determined it was too hard to actually maneuver and treacherous down there, so they couldn't actually place things safely and then also go retrieve things safely. Now, this is the fun part. The sign actually says you should respect the 3 R's while visiting this location if you go into the lower section especially. They said that if you find something and it doesn't look like it was natural to the space, you should report it, because they actually have found some spent casings, but also some unexploded bombs here. And the sign shows you what they look like, and yeah, good times, good times. Now, surprisingly, this is not the only place I've ever visited that had those kind of signs out. No. In fact, a lot of the land that you find that was formerly used by the military does have those signs just as a precaution. The likelihood that you personally will find something is very, very slim. However, they do have to, kind of give you a heads up to not just like go poking things in the middle of the space if you find it. So that's why it's there. But thought that was kind of interesting. Yeah. Now we're gonna make our way, I think, back to camp. This is a loop that you can kind of go through and pull off in various points and go look at other kind of views, but I am so windblown at this point, and my ears, despite being under my beanie, are frozen, and I'm pretty sure I have a little bit of windburn on my face. So instead, I think that we're going to go over to our campsite and see what's for lunch. Bumps, 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 bumps. Yeah, that is the song playing in my head as we go over all of these bumps. Okay, I made it back to camp, and now it's time for us to cook something. It got a little bit later than lunch at this point because I got busy, but that's okay. So I have out my cooking setup, and it's a little messy in the van because I couldn't find something, so I tossed everything looking for it. I don't know. I'm a weirdo like that, but let me show you what we're having. I have my little Coleman stove out with my heat screen and just a regular skillet today. I was going to use my Ridge Monkey, but I decided to change my mind on what I was going to eat. So I'm going to start this up in just a second. But today we're going to have these little stuffed mushrooms, and I've got something special to go with them. This is spicy pepper and 3 cheese dip by Stone Mill. This stuff is delicious. If you ever see it, grab it. It's so good. I'm just going to put a little extra into the actual skillet so it can sizzle, and I'll have a sizzling cheesy mushroom dish. Now, a lot of times I get asked what all I cook at camp, and I wanted to show you this as an option that's a super simple dish. It's very flavorful and just something that is quick, simple, in a hurry. I do like to make my own stuffed mushrooms. However, finding them at the store, hidden bonus when I don't have a lot of time. And on a day like today where it's really chilly outside, I want to limit the time that I have to actually spend out here. So here we go. Okay, this looks like it's about done, so let's turn this off and we'll release our canister, and ooh, that's gonna be so good. Now, if you've ever eaten a stuffed mushroom before, give it a minute to rest. Otherwise, it will explode juice in your mouth and it will be so hot. So I'm gonna give it like 2 or 3 minutes, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna clean up some of my stuff around camp. Okay, it's time. We're just gonna eat straight out of the skillet, so let's just cut into one of these. Oh yeah, it's got that little crust from the cheese. Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's delicious. This is just what I needed tonight. Something simple, something good, something with a little kick. Oh yeah. Oh. The best part of eating it straight out of the skillet is that when we're finished, all we have to do is clean 2 little dishes. Yeah, let's just prevent me from having to do too many dishes in the freezing cold. My hands would freeze off. Oh, look at that stringiness from the cheese. Now, for anybody who says that van life is picture perfect all the time, they're not showing themselves eating out of a skillet. But this is pretty perfect in my opinion. Oh yeah, definitely. We're staying at a beautiful free campsite. We went on a wonderful, amazing hike to kind of see some of the gorgeousness of the land. And we have a little bit of a spiciness to us. This is perfect. This is so perfect. Guys, I'm not sure of the last time that we talked about vault toilets, but I thought this was a great specimen right here. This vault toilet is available to us at the camp, so I decided to come over here and check it out. And it is so clean. Like, they really maintain this property pretty well. And also there's something that I want to show you on the door. Did you know you are never supposed to prop the door open and leave it open for like the night or even the day? This actually makes it smell. And you would think that by closing the door, it would trap all the smell in. But in fact, vault toilets are designed where when the door is closed, they can pipe the smell out this little vent that's on the top, like up there somewhere. So that's kind of cool. Just had to share that because not only are the bathrooms like super clean, and you know, a lot of times that isn't the case, but also they had that sign, which is literally the best description of why you close the door ever. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go back to camp. I'm gonna chill out for the rest of the evening. It's starting to get super cold, and yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, you know it's real when we've already put on the slides. Those are the shoes of comfort. Dimples still needs a bath. Well, I haven't found one yet, but look at this gorgeous space that we're going to be able to enjoy today. It's just beautiful. Now, I can already see by the dropping temperatures, this is definitely a hand warmer kind of night, so let's dig around. They're in here somewhere. Yes, yes. So hand warmers are really awesome because I keep them for a lot of different reasons. First of all, for nights when it's super cold because I don't have insulation, I bundle up, but I also put hand warmers in my gloves and in my socks, and it just keeps me nice and toasty. Most of the time I end up taking them out because I get too toasty. Also though, I keep them as an emergency item just in case something happens and I'm stranded somewhere. I can have these to keep me warm should the van not be able to run. So there's that too. I just like to find lots of function within items, and these things are awesome. Okay, I've already put myself into sleepy time mode, put all of my different blankets over my main blanket, and I already took my pillows and kind of moved them about. I'm going to sleep with my head on this end because of the way that we are laying, and that one I will put up against this door in just a minute so I can work on some editing. But yeah, this is what we're looking like right now. I have the Blue Eddy back here so I can charge my laptop, and then I have the Jackery right here so that I can plug in my fridge and everything else that's connected. And then I have my work table already out so that whenever I set up over here, I can put it across and set my laptop on top of it. So let's say goodbye to the front seat and goodbye to the beautiful views for the night. And then I'm going to tuck myself in. Look at the pretty clouds. They're gorgeous today. Earlier in the day, it was a little overcast and it looked gloomy, but this is the kind of cloud coverage I like. Oh yeah, and before I tuck myself in for the night, there's something else I wanted to show you. While I was at base camp doing all these different projects, one of the things that I tackled was actually putting a roof rack on Dimples. Now, I didn't do this alone. I don't want anybody to think that I did. In fact, my dad helped me out. He has ladders and expertise, and I was going to film the entire process, but it didn't end up happening that way. So I did want to show you, though, that we have a roof rack. You guys could have told me that I totally look like a cone head right now. What is this? What is this? What is this? Guess it's a little late to fix that, though. I've been in this beanie for how long now? Yeah, I'm just looking like a cone head. It's fine. There's one other thing that I did want to show you that I did go ahead and do while at base camp. I think this is a great time to show you, and this is something that needed to be done. So this wheel right here hit a big bump. It shot the hubcap off into oblivion, never to be seen again. Well, it actually ended up bending the rim just a little bit. So I kind of was looking at this and I thought that I was going to have to replace the rim, and that was going to cost a considerable amount. Not to mention, if I couldn't find this rim, I was going to have to buy 4 rims so everything would match, right? Well, I didn't think that was super attainable though, because Well, for one, what if it didn't come in time if I did order one? Or what if I did have to order all four? That's a huge chunk of budget just gone out the window. And technically, the van runs just fine like this. I've looked at it. It doesn't pull to the side. It doesn't do any wobbling. It's fine. So instead, I decided to do something more economical. I just went ahead and made all of them match. I pulled the hubcaps off of everything. So see this side too, right here. Everything matches. Much more efficient on the budget, for sure. I think that it's important to find things that work for you and not against you. And I knew that this trip was going to be a little bit more financially draining than some of my other trips because of the distance and because of the time and because I have some things I want to do while I'm traveling. So those are going to cost some money. So I decided not to bite the bullet on what could be a very large expense. But in the meantime, I also learned something very cool. So whenever I pulled the hubcaps off, my hubcaps actually fasten on the inside instead of the outside of the rim. So even with the bent rim on the other side, I can still put hubcaps on this. So go with me on this. I have an idea. I still have 3 perfectly good hubcaps that are the Nissan logo hubcaps that came on Dimple's standard. And I could just order 1 replacement hubcap. However, got to looking and hubcaps aren't that expensive, and I really like the black look with the black roof rack and the black accents. So instead, I think what I'm going to do is after I get back from this trip, whenever that is, I'm going to order some black hubcaps. Yeah, I think that's just going to look really slick on Dimples and make it just look even more adventure-y. I love it. So personal preference, yes, but definitely excited about that. That will be in the future, and I will be showing you guys what they look like when they come in and also how I install them, because if you're like me, I've never changed a hubcap, never taken one off, and it's a learning experience. Anyway, guys, into my cozy bed I go. I have to catch up on a few things, and I definitely want to get nice and warm before the sun fully goes down. If you've enjoyed coming along with me today, remember, Adventure Van Man showed us this campsite. He has a really cool channel. I'm going to link it in the description box below. Go check him out. He has some really awesome videos, and I truly love his channel. So yeah, that's a good one for you guys to start binge watching. He's got tons of stuff that he showed, and you'll like it. I guarantee it. Remember, guys, we are not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. So if you've enjoyed today's video, make sure that you leave a thumbs up, hit the subscribe, and check out all of my fun adventures that we're going on our way to Quartzsite. Till next time, guys. Bye!